Hey everybody, it's Nick. I got a quick tutorial for you today about how to basically work with the turtle library that I showed you guys in class. So this is the library that allows us to make things in processing, make prototypes before we send code to our turtle robots. So the first thing you want to do, and I lost it here, is get processing. So you can go ahead and download processing at processing.org. And once you get it, you basically just install it to your applications folder, or if you're on a PC, you can just throw it in a folder somewhere and then run processing out of that root folder. It's really straightforward. So once you've got processing, it's very similar to the Arduino stuff that we looked at before. In fact, Arduino is based on processing. To get your library installed, you're going to want to go into, and this is on Mac here, but basically, if you look under preferences, you can tell where your sketchbook is. And in my case, it's under my username, documents, processing. I think it's pretty much the case in PC as well. But basically, just look for where your libraries folder is. So if you go into users, docs, processing, let's go into, in my case, just documents here, and then go to processing. You've got a folder called libraries, and all you want to do is just drag that turtle folder into the libraries folder, and then you want to restart processing. Okay, and once you've done that, you can go ahead and if you were writing code from scratch, you want to add a library. You go to Sketch, Import Library, and then you'll see Contributed Libraries, under which you'll see Turtle. When you click that, it adds the import turtle piece. But we're not going to mess with that. The other thing, the easy way to start would be to go to your examples folder. And if you go under contributed libraries, pardon me, you'll find library under turtle, or you'll find under your turtle thing code, basically. So we can go in and look at that, for example, that tree code. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit later, well, I guess I should be talking about it now, about how a library works, but it basically starts out by saying import. In this case, you're going to import all the files from turtle. That's what this dot asterisk means. And this is done by the computer itself when you just go in and say, import turtle. And then we have to make an object. And turtle is a turtle object starts with a capital T, so you type in turtle with a capital T. And in this case, we're going to call the object turtle T. And you could make multiple turtles and we could do things, but in this case, we're just going to focus on the turtle T. And then in order to use the turtle, we have to put this line in here that says T equals new turtle this. And again, you could just copy paste it or take it out of one of these programs. That's all you need. Okay. And in this case, the file, when you're in processing, sets up the size of the window you're going to be using. So it's a 500 by 500 pixel window. You can change these numbers. The background color is 255, which is white. So you do background, parentheses, and then a number. You can also do a number with 3. So you could say, if you wanted it to be red, for example, this would be red. The first number is R, red. Second number is G, green, blue. And you could, I think there's a color, yeah. So if you want to know what a certain color is, so for example, red, it says RGB 25500. You could find any color you want, right? And you can get that, and then you just put those numbers in, and that'll change your background. If you do one variable, it's black or white. 0 is black, 255 is white. RGB colors go from 0 to 255. These are 256 bit. You have a stroke here. That stroke is green. It's a certain shade of green because it's no red, 200 green, 100 blue. The stroke is the color of the line that processing is going to draw. And these are all set in setup, which means that they're running as the default. So you have the background and then the line color, and then you're going to make a turtle. What no loop does means that this program is only going to run once. It's not going to run repeatedly like we usually see in Draw. And we've got the turtle program here. This is written in processing, so you can see anytime that it's working, it actually says T dot forward, T dot left, right? And that's very important to understand that's the way that's supposed to work. And then the turtle, it actually is in this program, starts by moving the turtle back. So you put the pen up, go back 100 steps, put the pen down, and then run branch. All that is pretty much what we've seen already. This is this program. If you run it, so you click this button, it's going to draw your tree. So you can see that, and we could experiment with different. So if I so the way the branch program works, which is like our tree program, the first number is a number of iterations. Second number is the length of the initial branch, and the last one is the angle. And then so when we call branch, it's iterate it 6 times. The branch length is 100, and it's a 30-degree tree. If we made it, let's say, a 10-degree tree, we get a tighter tree. If we make it a 90-degree tree, we get a design that looks like this. So just by playing with those variables, you know, you can experiment really quickly and see what your code will actually produce for you. And it's really complicated. And whether you want your turtle to draw that. So this one, the turtle goes back 100 steps. I might want that turtle to go back further because I have, yeah, so now I can actually see it. And see, this rapid iteration is going to be much faster for you guys than actually having to use the turtles. And you can also experiment with the other code that you find under examples. I would look a lot at things that draw lines or different things like that. And if you go to the web page for the turtle, ignore my email here, sorry. Let's see, yeah, turtle logo library. I should have this, but I don't. You can look at all the different commands that are on here, and there's different kinds of things where you can actually tell it like where to go, or you can convert from turtle code to something else. I'll get a better example of that for you guys next time I see you. But basically, you can take the code that you have here, and the only things you really need to change is taking out any of these T's, and then making sure that back is actually backward. And then all you need to do is basically copy paste the code that's in. I'll just go ahead and do this. Maybe if you take this out. Take out, let's see here. And you can do a find and replace. So if you go up to, whoops. I'll stop this here. Go to processing, go to edit, find, or, you can use like command F. You can say find T dot and replace with nothing. And that'll do that. And then you can say find back and replace with backward. And that would also fix all that. And then you could go ahead and take all these. So where it says draw, you go into Arduino, and you'd put that into your loop. And you can see that closes. And now I've got my code here. And then go ahead and format it. Just make sure that it's formatted correctly. And see if that runs. And that should be it. I take that back. You do want to really be really careful with your functions. Functions should be outside of the scope. In order to get your robot to stop, you have to have this code that says done and while. And so, yeah, I just need to take this bracket out. Go back and format it again. And there we go, and that would work with your robot. Now, obviously, we already have this tree code, it's already there, but I just want to show you guys like what that process looks like. Like, once you make something in processing using the turtle code. Now, some of the examples that you're going to have are going to have things like rotate and scale. Those aren't written in turtle code, so they would have to be translated into something that the turtle can do. And I haven't got that all kind of figured out yet for you guys, but if you go into, I don't know, any of these things. So a lot of these are not going to be able to be directly translated. You should really stick with drawing things using the turtle in processing, using the loops, using variables, using conditionals, the kinds of structures that I showed you guys in class. It's okay to be inspired by some of this, though, and to experiment, but for the time being, a lot of these things are not going to directly translate because they're just a little bit complicated. So I'll work on a new library for you guys because that library, excuse me, hasn't been written yet. I got to make it, but that will actually be something I can give you in the future. For now, just focus on using this to iterate and to look at like turtle graphics and processing. And next week and the week after, we'll do some Grasshopper and some processing that can talk to the turtles. So that'll be pretty cool. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys get to the next step. I'd like you to keep experimenting with it, and I'll check in with you next class. Thanks.